What's up, guys? What's going on? Unfortunately, no toy hunt this week. It's been a pretty busy week getting stuff done. Still trying to get stuff done. Still waiting on my damn haslab Rattler. And I will say, I really don't want to say this, but I think the reason why is because I've done some research, and apparently I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people out there that's still waiting, and there's a small amount of people who have the Rattlers in stock or got them, and it seems a very small amount. And a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people question and try and figure what's going on. And for me, I've been literally trying to contact them, and they literally give me the simplest answer of we're shipping it as we get them in. Honestly, I don't think that's what they're doing. Unfortunately, with the haslab, of course, we all paid for shipment. I think Hasbro has spent pretty much all of that money already. And I think they're sending out shipments very small as they get money to ship stuff. Which kind of sucks. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of things you have to pay for. And I do mean have to when it comes to companies. But if people are literally paying for shipments, that's what the money should have been used for. I don't know what the money was used for, or if that is the actual reasoning. I do hope Hasbro get their act together. And I honestly think, so if you've been paying attention to their new G.I. Joe haslab, the Snowcat, it has not been like the 3 previous haslabs, where within a day they reached their goal. In fact, they still haven't reached the goal. And it's been 13, maybe almost 2 weeks. So I do believe the Snowcat will be funded. I don't think all 3 tiers will be funded. And I think the 2 biggest problems with the Snowcat, one, everybody's still waiting on their Rattler. And if, we're starting to see the problems with the Rattler, there could be problems with the Snowcat. And I could see a lot of people questioning it and not wanting to put down money on the Snowcat. For me, my biggest thing is, of course, it's a G.I. Joe vehicle. Technically, there is only three big vehicles I want. The Cobra Hiss tank, the Cobra Rattler, and the Dreadnought Thunder Machine. Anything else after that is just a add-on. So I do have a ferret, or 2 ferrets. I do have a Trouble Bubble. I have a Cobra Snake, hopefully on the way, as that keeps getting pushed back. I do have a Cobra Claw on the way, hopefully, if that doesn't get pushed back. And that could be the other reason, with everything getting pushed back and we're not actually hearing what the problem is or what's going on. But I think the second biggest thing is that it's literally a snowcat. I mean, if you think about it, we have 2 snow serpents, the original and the new deluxe version. We have a snow bat, which is great. You can build a Cobra Snow Army. Although I would love to see possibly a Viper and a Cobra Trooper in snow outfits. To round everything out. But I do think the biggest problem is that it is a snow vehicle. Dragonfly could be used anywhere. Cobra Hiss tanks can be used anywhere. Cobra Stuns can be used anywhere. Cobra Rattlers can be used anywhere. G.I. Joe Sky Strikers can be used anywhere. Mobat, Mauler, Vamps, all of this can be used in any climate. Well, the Snowcat is literally an all-terrain vehicle. It is basically used for snow. And definitely the white paint is not going to be great in the forest rain. So I think a lot of it is just what you can use. I mean, if you think about it, the only G.I. Joe snow trooper we have is Snow Job. Of course, the Snowcat comes with the driver, Frostbite, and Lady J and Flint in their snow outfit. But a troop built snow serpents and snow bats versus 4 G.I. Joes and 1 Snowcat. It just doesn't work as a place vehicle. Personally, I love the Snowcat. I had the original when I was a kid. I honestly don't remember Frostbite. Maybe I picked it up used. But it was a great vehicle. It's just a lot of times it had to sit on the side because I was playing in a forest. Or at least I thought imaginary forest. I love the polar bear, but again, most of these are just in the snow. It's stuck in the snow. And like I said, with what's been happening with everything being pushed back for releases, what's been happening with the Cobra Rattler, I think it's literally people are taking a double take. I mean, honestly, nobody said anything specific about the Rattler. So if it gets pushed back, they're doing one or two shipments. And I mean like one or two pieces per shipment. I think they'll literally be shipping out all the way to next year. And then what does that, say about the Snowcat? When will that be shipped? Honestly, I think Hasbro has a lot of problems at the moment. So I really can't say much about it, but it could also be because of the tariffs. Depending, on the materials where we're getting everything from. Which would definitely suck. That besides the rising of prices for products, having the tariffs play a part in shipment is not good business. Lots of things happening, I guess, with Hasbro. I have a lot of things I've ordered from Hasbro. It's crazy. Hopefully, I can get more things ordered from other places. There's a lot of things I still need to order. But at least things are, like I said, getting close to being finished for certain things. One can only hope. Anyway, guys, I really would like to thank you guys for subscribing to my little channel. Like I said, the biggest thing for me has been trying to show you what Hawaii has as far as collectible stores go, which isn't much. hopefully put some of these stores on the map. If you're in Hawaii, definitely check them out. If you're not in Hawaii, I Google or Bing and see if they have some websites. I know a few of our stores actually have some websites. We do have both real and Labubu stores popping up here, or real and fake Labubu stores popping up here in Hawaii. I really don't see the appeal of it, but I get it. I never got Beanie Babies. There is a lot of things I never got into that were pretty big. There is definitely a thing I would love to collect from the guys, Pop Mart, the guys who make Labubus. And it's basically the Crown Shin-chan. I think they have two versions. One version I only want the mystery, the rare one, because I know what it is. I mean, if you have ever watched the series, you know what it is. And it's basically having the character in like fuzzy animal onesies. And the mystery onesie is an elephant. Mr. Elephant, to be exact. Other than that, they have the other version. There is a character like Ultraman that I kind of want. But then again, these things cost a lot of money now. It's literally insane. However, today I want to go over a couple things that got mailed into me. 2 G.I. Joe Classifieds, retro figures, and 2 little surprises. So we'll do the Cobra Retro Viper. It's pretty cool. So the face mask is like the Disney or the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, not the retro Cobra Commander. Comes with a backpack, assault rifle, there's a pistol inside, some goggles, several hands, and of course this standing plate. And I don't know if you can see, but there is another rifle in there. Sniper rifle looks like. Definitely the blue looks very, very dark. I do have the Cobra Island Viper, as well as the 3-pack with the 2 Cobra Vipers and the Cobra Viper Officer. So this should fit in nicely with those 4. As far as rank goes, of course the officer is going to be outranking all of them. But I think I'm going with the police ranks and make the short sleeves, the retros, a rank above the other troopers. Just like the Cobra Retro Trooper. I think that rank should be, of course, above the infantry and above the normal Cobra Trooper. These are the three characters: Mindbender, Rock and Roll Viper, nice bio. I think Hasbro knocked it out of the park with the Retro Viper. The other one I got is, of course, Rock and Roll. Comes with the ammo belt, the helmet, a walkie-talkie, the feeder, pistol, the M50, I think, 2 different hands, the cardboard is a lot thicker than those cardboards, which is pretty insane. They're pretty much hard to bend. So basically, the big difference I know from this character and the character that came out is this is all green. The other one had the tan shirt with the green sleeves. He also had tattoos when this one does not. And the hair is a little bit more, I guess, darker gold. There are, of course, a little bit more differences. But I think for me that was the biggest differences. I honestly would have liked the tattoos on this character. I like the green to match the other original 13 greens. We do have Grunt. We do have what's his name? Clutch. I'm hoping to get Flash. And I'm hoping to get Zap. I don't know about Short Fuse. Part of me kind of wants Short Fuse, part of me doesn't. But like I said, I wanted the green outfit just to match the original 13, and since he was one of the original 13, he looks pretty insane. Alright guys, so besides the classified figures, I did order me a couple figures from a couple old shows, and I still need more, just not from these shows. I'm trying to collect maybe 1 or 2 figures from, I wouldn't say a toy line, but shows that, old cartoons that I loved, that they made toys for them. So I definitely would want Cops, Bionic 6. There is a lot of figures I want. Visionaries, the Darkling Lords. Sky Commanders. General Plague. But I'm starting to slowly get these figures in. And these two figures will definitely remain packaged. Jaws from James Bond, but this is from the animated cartoon James Bond Jr. It's pretty cool. It has like his bio, the vehicles, and all the characters. James Bond Jr. I think that's Scuba James, Scuba Jr., Parachute, and Ninja here, James Bond Jr. IQ, the can't remember if he was the son. I think he was the grandson of Q, the guy who made all the special devices for Uncle James. Buddy Mitchell. I remember. I don't remember. I think he was in some of the James Bond movies, but in the cartoon, I believe he's the coach of the English dorm school. Honestly, I really don't know what the hell the school was, because it never made sense to me. But they have also Gordy, the surfer, Odd Job. I would love Odd Job in a suit, because that's how he was in James Bond movies. But in the cartoon, he wore a tracksuit with his top hat, which it was hilarious. The notorious pirate Walker D. Plank. Dr. No, of course we know from James Bond movies. Jaws we know from James Bond movies. And Dr. Derange. Literally most, besides the villains from the James Bond movies, Walker D. Plank, Dr. Derange, kind of reminds me of a Kim Possible characters. I would have loved to see that. James Bond Jr. crossover with Kim Possible. But yes, I'm glad I got him. He's literally the character I wanted, because he's so recognizable from the James Bond movies. And as the actor himself was pretty great in every movie he's been in. And with this hanging on the wall, seeing James Bond Jr., is a cool reminder of past stuff. So below, he is going to be second on my rack. Below him, hopefully I can get Dr. Blight from Captain Planet. And then we'll see what else I can get that is on card. But the final character is going to be on top, because I am literally certain that most of you probably don't even remember the cartoon. But he was my favorite because he looked insane. And it was, I think there was only 13 episodes. The intro to the cartoon was Full Metal. It reminded me, and King Arthur and the Knights of Justice had a great intro. That was metal, but nothing like this intro. Skeleton Warriors. And the intro was all... I just remember that eyes burning, the digital skull coming on screen, the laughter, the whole... This is a Tales of the Skeleton Warriors. And then the music just drops and it was insane. But this is Grimskull. He was part of, I think, 4 characters. His brother, Prince Lightstar, was the prince of a planet. They had... I'm not sure what his name was. He's on the back. Ursar? But he was the guardian. Basically, for this version, the best comparison I can think of is Man-at-Arms from He-Man. He was basically their weapon specialist, created all of their vehicles, but at the same time he was literally the guardian of the kids. Lightstar had a girl with him, forget what she was called, but Grimskull was the brother who betrayed the kingdom. And their enemies were literally the Skeleton Warriors. And I do remember the main villain, Baron Dark. And he had an army of skeleton troopers. So the 4 on the back is just the beginning. But the greatest thing was these things were immortal. If you shot them, they would all crumble and then reform. And a lot of them would reform into new warriors. So Grimskull was jealous that Lightstar became the prince of the planet after their father died. literally kind of becoming king without being king because he thought he wasn't ready for it yet. So Grimskull, under his human name, betrayed them to Baron Dark. In the original pilot episode. But with Baron Dark trying to destroy the entire planet, Grimskull changed his ways because all Grimskull wanted to do was rule. And you can't rule a dead planet. So he did end up turning back to the good side, but the cost of his betrayal was turning into this creature, which was basically half human, half skull. And then he ended up changing his name to Grimskull. So there's Grimskull, Prince Lightstar, Guardian, Baron Dark, and 4 of the Skeleton Warriors. He comes with a staff, this little dog creature, some kind of trigger. Has a little bile. Jeez, my eyes are going bad. I do have the entire series on a DVD. Not legally. Toys itself was made by Playmates, which was insane. This was made by Jax, I think. Don't even see. No, Hasbro. That's pretty crazy that Hasbro made the James Bond Jr. toys. But yeah, there's a lot of old school figures I need to get, I want to get. It's definitely great that there is a lot of toy stores that's doing vintage toys. There's a lot of old school cartoons I would love to get on DVDs. I mean, hopefully you guys remember some of these. If not, hopefully it makes you want to look these up. I believe Visionaries was only 13 episodes. It was supposed to be another season, but it got cancelled. Skeleton Warriors, again, it was supposed to be more than this season, more than one season, and it got cancelled. So the second line of toys was gonna be the girlfriend of Lightstar, and two other characters that were supposed to come in, as well as more Skeleton Warriors. So, unfortunately, yeah, a lot of cancellations can happen, and if a specific cartoon is cancelled, a lot of times the toy line will be cancelled, which kind of sucks. I would love to see a lot of remakes and reboots of older cartoons. Instead of all the crap we have these days. I mean, I'm sure you guys remember King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, where it's literally in Camelot, the Arthur that is supposed to be king and the Knights of the Round Table all disappear. And in order to save the kingdom, Merlin time warps an entire football team back to Camelot from our time. What? 2000... Oh, 1990 something. A pro football team called the Knights back to Camelot. They don somehow it end up with I think 13 players, which is the same number of the Knights of the Round Table. And the main character, surprisingly, his name is Arthur. You find out later on he's actually a descendant of that King's Arthur. And there's actually somebody related to Lancelot, whose name is Lance. It was definitely a pretty good cartoon. Today somebody just reminded me of another good girl cartoon that I kind of looked up if they have any dolls for it, and they did. Again, the dolls are about $60, but it's literally hard to find. But it's called Maxie's World. They did make a DVD set, which is insane. Basically, it was Hasbro's version of Barbie. So, of course, Hasbro has to make a cartoon from it. The cartoon itself felt like Gem and the Holograms meets Beverly Hills Teens. And the animation just reminded me of Ghostbusters. It was a very entertainment where anything is possible. Barbie comes to the real world life animation thing. Basically take the Barbie movie and make it animated, except they don't realize they're not from a fake world, I guess. For what it was pretty entertaining. It would keep you for half an hour until something else comes on. Personally, I kind of enjoyed it. Then again, I enjoyed the Beverly Hills Teens cartoon. There was a lot of good girl cartoons back then. Care Bears, My Little Pony, Gem and the Holograms, it would be interesting to see what the current generation would think of watching those old school cartoons. Anyway, guys, yes, I'm still waiting on a lot of things coming in. I think it's a pretty cool thing to have something from Skeleton Warriors and James Bond Jr. Definitely want Captain Planet, Bionic 6, Visionaries, Cops. So hopefully by next year's time we can start finishing certain collections, so I can start focusing on some of the nostalgic toys. Hopefully focus on some nostalgic cartoons. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Be safe. Aloha. See you guys soon.